welcome back to the channel. You're watching Old Guy Firewood, and my name is Dick. And today I want to talk a little bit about splitting big rounds, and I did that in my last video also. And I showed you splitting with my 4-way wedge, and I talked about what would be ideal in terms of having a box wedge and a conveyor to handle the splits after they came off the wedge. But today I'm going to talk a little bit about how to split those big rounds with a single wedge. And when I started out splitting wood many years ago, all I had was a little single wedge splitter. And you have to make do with what you got. And a lot of folks have single wedge splitters. A lot of folks aren't splitting a large quantity. They're splitting just for themselves, maybe 5-10 cord a year, maybe even less. And I think maybe this will help you in splitting those big rounds and doing it as easily and as efficiently as you can. And my guess would be that a lot of you already do it this way. But and I'm not saying it's the best way, the right way. It's just the way I do it and the way I've found to be pretty efficient. So let me show you what we got going on here and what we're working with. I've got the Wolfridge Pro 28C here just set up with the single wedge. And what I want to get done today is finish filling this IBC tote with this nice oak that I have. And we're working with some big rounds. There's some I just cut up. There's some more over here I got ready to go on the log lift. And what I try to do when I'm working with a single wedge, and I've just kind of drawn some lines on here with some chalk, is I try to split it in slabs and then stack those slabs and run them back through again, and that way you're getting 3 splits with every stroke of the cylinder. But what happens with this scenario, if I was to split in here, this end would probably stay connected up here. The log's just a little bit too big. So what I try to do is take some off here, and then that leaves me some slabs that I can cut. Better thing to do is show you. I can show you better than I can explain it to you. So let me go ahead and crank the Wolfridge up and put one of these big rounds up on the beam, and we'll see how it goes. You know, I get too much of this nice, big, straight, clean wood from the tree service folks to let it go. A lot of wood in it. Just need to minimize the effort and be efficient splitting it. Okay, I've got it to the point now where I can start making my bigger slabs. We'll set them aside and stack them up for the next step. All right, now once you have these slabs, go ahead and stack them up. Now we'll get 3 splits at a time. If you've watched anybody splitting with the Easton made axis, very much the same manner that they use, except we're having to pull these big ones back instead of turning them around. And stack these up. The idea being you get as many splits as you can out of one stroke of the splitter cylinder. One thing about splitting with the single wedge is you're going to get nice clean cuts with very little waste. See if I can't get 2 slabs out of this one. tell you what, it is hot out here today. It's in the high 80s. And humidity is not too bad, but I don't know, looking off in the distance, it does look pretty hazy. Now that right there is the kind of slab that I'm talking about. You get it all slabbed down like that, then you can start stacking it and doing multiple splits. Alright, now I can stack them up. I can actually probably go 4 high. Four pieces out of every stroke. A lot of splits of firewood in about the shortest amount of time you can do it with a single wedge. But the key is to stacking them up, get multiple pieces out of each stroke of the ram, get them slabbed down to where you can handle them, and you can stack them 2 or 3 high. And that's always seemed to work pretty good for me. And I say, I bet a bunch of you already do it that way. Leave a comment down below. Tell me if that's something you do, or if there's another way that works better. As I say, I'm not saying it's the only way, not saying it's the right way, but it's what seems to work for me. And I hate to turn down these big, straight, clean logs when there's so much wood in them. Hate to turn them down just because they're hard to handle. As I said in my last video, ideally a box wedge is the way to go, but I'm not there yet. Boy, this red oak is heavy and it's wet, and these logs have been sitting for, gosh, one of them has been sitting for over a year, and the rest of them been sitting since spring, and they just don't dry until they are split, and then they take a long time. Alright guys, let me show you what we got out of those 2 rounds. 2 rounds, we filled one side of that tote up, and I figure another 2 rounds, 2.5 at the most, will fill the rest up. I've got one here yet to split that's cut, bucked up, and I've got 3 here that are bucked up, so definitely got enough to fill that tote. But as hot as it is, I think I'm going to take a break and maybe come back out here this evening, or at least when it cools down a little bit, and finish filling this tote up. But what I wanted to show you was my method for the big splits with the single wedge, and cutting those slabs, getting them to where you can stack them up and run them through the single wedge again seems to be the fastest way that I've found to process them. And again, as I said, down in the comments, please, if you do something different, or if you do it like this, or whatever you might have to say, please leave a comment. I appreciate it. And do appreciate all my subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please go ahead and push that subscribe button and the like button and the little bell icon, so you'll know when I publish a new video. But as I always say, best advice I can give you, and I'll leave you at the end of my video with this, is keep moving. So keep moving. I'll be back out here moving a little bit later this evening and finish this tote up. But I hope you all are having a great Labor Day weekend, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.